Hello, and a very warm welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Grace Njenga, otherwise known as Grace RSM. In case it's your first time on my channel here, this is all about that diaspora life. We discuss various elements of the diaspora life, from lifestyle, travel, events, trends, and so on and so forth. Today, I would like us to discuss uh, a very important question that I get asked a lot of times. How can I come to the diaspora? I am living in the UK specifically, and I get this a lot of times, especially from young people. What are the various opportunities available to, vuka boda, kuomoka, and all that? And today I want to specifically talk about the health and care worker visa. Now, I know there's various other ways you can come here, university, you can get married to a spouse, but I want to discuss this specific one because it's the latest, and I feel like there's a very big opportunity for people to actually take advantage of this. Now, I've got with me today one of the experts in when it comes to this visa, and he will be telling us more about it today and telling us what requirements you need and how to go about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet Tirus Njenga, the CEO of EHUMAN Limited. Hello, Tirus.
Hello, Grace. Yeah, thank you very much first of all, for the work you're doing.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
You're bringing people together, like we said. We need networking, and for the longest, we've been missing this. So, a brief history about myself. So, I'm Tirus Njenga from Africa, from Kenya. Came to UK 15 years ago. 15 years ago and counting. I'm married to one Esther Tirus. And also on top of that, obviously, I was in the Army, British Army, served for 14 years, now out now. So like Grace said, I'm Tirus, I'm the CEO of EHUMAN Limited. So ECU is a company registered in England and Wales. We are registered here, and we are also a UK licensed employer. So it means we can bring people, we can recruit people from UK and abroad for our company. And we mainly deal with the healthcare industry at the moment.
Okay, brilliant. Could you tell us more about this health and care visa? Like, where did all this start? And just briefly explain what it is.
So the health and care industry, in UK is a massive industry, and the UK has been struggling to recruit people even before Brexit. Now the COVID, the pandemic have just hit the world. So the UK is an industry in terms of getting workers and people working in the healthcare industry. They've been struggling for the longest. So when the Brexit came, so it meant the UK had to come out from the EU. That didn't help with the shortfall and also the pandemic. And that is at the same time when there's a company we are trying to find out how we can actually become of help. Where here in UK is a company, and also to help people abroad to come and work here as international healthcare workers. Mm-hmm. And that's how we came in. So the Brexit helped. It was almost a blessing in disguise, because it meant a lot of people, especially the European who are working in the healthcare industry, they had to go back because of the uncertainties of what the Brexit came about with, and the COVID pandemic.
I remember discussing Brexit when it was happening, and most people were talking about how it would actually benefit the Commonwealth, because if you were not getting employees from the EU, then this might actually open the route for the Commonwealth. So it's sort of has worked. Would you say that's actually worked for us?
Yeah, it certainly did, because it meant either someone coming from EU or someone coming from other parts of the world, they were actually going through the same gate. Whereas in the past, before Brexit, it meant someone from EU, they got the first preference to come and work in UK. They didn't need a visa, or they didn't need any employer to give them a sponsorship visa or like to come and work in UK.
Okay, right. So with the jobs, this shortage occupation list, what jobs are on that list?
Okay, so on the one thing the UK does very well, they have the UK government website, and it tells them it tells people everything they need to know. So under the government website, they tell you every year they'll publish a list on the shortage of occupational list. So the shortage of where the industry, or the UK industry, where the shortage of manpower, and then every year by year they'll publish it. They'll remove some jobs and they'll add some more. For instance, last year we had a massive shortage of chefs. Now they've removed it this year, and then they've added the healthcare workers and all the rest of it. But mainly, year in, year out, you always see there's always a massive shortfall in the healthcare industry, because as a UK, there's an aging population and there's less people to look after them.
Okay. So the specific jobs, you say there's healthcare professionals. What specific jobs are we looking at? Is it from doctors to what exactly, what job groups are in that list?
So on the healthcare professional, and especially on the health and care visa, because that's what we'll probably be discussing more on this interview today. It's anybody who is in the healthcare industry. So whether that is a doctor, it's a nurse, it's a social worker, paramedic, anyone who's actually done any healthcare related courses.
Okay.
And they've gone even on the list because they normally take people who are professionals, but they've gone actually a step further to take someone who is under like a senior care assistant, whereby you didn't go to school to get like a degree or a diploma in case of a nurse or a paramedic, but you are still very, very vital in the healthcare industry. So they've actually added something else called senior care assistants. It's part of the short skills occupational list.
Right, because I'm going to add something on that. I'm a radiographer myself, and I have noticed the NHS is recruiting a lot from abroad, including Africa. And at the moment, there's quite a few West Africans that have been recruited in the trust where I work, which is actually nice and commendable. And I think it would even be more commendable if we could get a lot of Kenyans to jump in on the bandwagon, because bear in mind, this opportunity only presents itself once. It's like the way we discuss how back then people used to come to the UK without a visa, and you wish you used to live back then and grab that opportunity. So this opportunity just comes once. So if you're a healthcare professional, you need to be listening up for this and looking at the requirements that you need to fulfill in order to take advantage of these opportunities. Now, speaking of requirements, because I think that's normally the biggest hurdle for people, because you will go look at the website and some of the stuff is not elaborate enough, or you have no idea where to start looking for it. So can you take us through the requirements or the criteria for this health and care visas? Jobs?
Yeah, and before I go to the requirements, it's a very good point that you raised there about our African brothers and sisters from the Western side. They are very good, so they see opportunities and take it, which is unlike what we do in the Eastern side. We kind of sometimes we procrastinate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether that be because you've been conned or swindled, or we just see an idea or we see them that's too good to be true. So what we've done, we've done our good due diligence and research, and we found actually even us as people from East Africa, we can actually stand up to be counted, and that's how obviously we ended up getting we were able to recruit people from overseas. So the requirements are quite straightforward. So for this specific route, we are looking for someone who's got a minimum, who have at least between 1 and 3 years of experience in the healthcare sector. We also want hopefully someone with a minimum of diploma in health and social sector, health and social care sector. The age between the 25 and 45, because you don't want someone who is too young. Obviously, they've finished their diploma, they finished their university or college, but then we want them to have maybe 1 to 3 years of experience, so that when they are coming here, they are hitting the ground running.
Oh, so because I think it's quite specific on the website, the one senior
care assistants
and professionals.
So you have to show that you have experience before you're not coming here to start. You are coming here because you already showed that, and that is part of our interview. When you go through our thorough interview process, we make sure the person you're bringing in here, they are coming to hit the ground, and we're going to provide the training and everything else, but we want you to have experience to back up the training we're going to give you.
Absolutely.
We also need you to have a good knowledge of English. So with the British Council, you have to go and do the English test with IELTS B1, which tests you the 4 elements of speaking, listening, writing, and talking. Yeah. So obviously you need to pass that before you can come through the doors. Another thing we found obviously through this job is people get scared when they hear that they are coming to UK. Even the fear itself kind of stops you from being confident. We know we speak in English, all our English apart from Swahili when you go through school, they are taught in English. So we ask people and we train people, we signpost them where they can do the training before they can do the English test. It's all about the confidence. You know what you're talking about. We might have an accent, we all have, because we should be proud of what
you have a British accent, so.
I don't used to have a British accent, but that's by the by.
We all have an accent. You have a British accent now.
So, but again, that will probably come because of the many years I've been here. You've been here for over 14 years.
I still have my African accent.
I'm proud with my Kenyan accent. But so when you go through the the IELTS, the English test, the one they are testing for whether you can speak and talk in English.
Yeah.
You just need to be confident.
Okay.
And that's it.
Sorry, I cut you short. You were
I
talking
was
about the
going through the
requirements.
requirements. Yeah.
Sorry.
So we said about minimum of diploma
Yeah.
in health and social care sector.
Okay.
You need to have a work experience of between 1 and 3 years. The knowledge of English language, TV test, a DBS or more commonly known as police good conduct back in Africa or in Kenya.
Okay.
And those are the eligibility. If you pass those, then you can come to us and then we're going to do the screening again because a lot of people fit into that criteria. But the nitty-gritty of everything else that needs to be done, how much work experience have you got, where have you gotten it, how confident are you, all those things we do them in-house because we want to bring the best in your community to work with us in UK. Because in UK, like you've all realized, it's quite fast. So you want someone who's actually fast, independent. You come and you give you the training and you'll be able to go and work with very, very minimal supervision and all the rest of it. So yeah.
How long is this contract valid for?
They start with 3-hour contract. So after that, so obviously they'll come and they'll be our employees. So it means when they have the 3-hour contract, they cannot work for anybody else.
Okay.
So that's what the contract ties us. Us as an employer and you as an employee, you work for us for 3 years. And you work for that job board, whichever job you've come to do here.
Okay.
And then after 3 years, if you're not happy with how we as an employer are, you're more than happy to go and look for another employer, obviously within the same industry. And then you get another 2 years, and that will take you to the 5 years of being in the UK legally and working and paying taxes. Then that leads you to nationalization or citizenship. So that is one of the benefits.
Okay.
Then the visa itself, the health and care visa, it's actually accelerated. So once you go through this visa route, the UK government has actually brought out another application, so whereby you put your application through and it's actually put on top of the list because they need people to come and work in UK. On top of that, they've actually waived your almost like health insurance. It's called IHS surcharge fee. So if you're coming through this route, you're waived. It's about £634 a year, which is a lot. For example, if you confirm that for 3 years, which you're going to get a visa for, it amounts to nearly 300,000 Kenyan shilling or $3,000.
Yeah.
Then you're allowed to bring your dependents, anybody, obviously your spouse, whether your wife, your husband, or whether your husband, your wife, and anybody in your household who is under 18 years of age, because those are the ones that are seen as dependents. If you're over 18, obviously you're now on your own. But for this type of visa, you're allowed to bring anybody, your kids, your dependents who are 18 and below, and your spouses. Then, like I said, you're going to get a 3-hour permit. The pay is very good. So the gross pay in a year, it's about 20,000. Well, it's actually when you're sponsoring somebody, if you sponsor someone from overseas, you cannot offer them anything less than £20,480 per annum, which equates to £1,700 per month. But in Kenyan shillings, it's 250,000 or $2,500. But that is a gross pay. But then when you do your expenses and all the rest of it, you still have something left in your pocket. And I normally tell people, it's probably better than what you're getting where you are right now.
Well, especially if you're not employed at the moment, because there's a sort of shortage for job opportunities in Kenya.
That's true.
So, why EHUMAN? What is EHUMAN? How is EHUMAN helping in the application process? What
we pride ourselves in doing as EHUMAN is we're not only giving you a job, but you're going to further your career. So for instance, if somebody comes here as a clinical officer, because you have a lot of clinical officers in Kenya, but then they don't have a transferable skills in UK. As much as we know they're qualified even more or over and above that nurses or anybody in the UK industry. They don't have transferable skills.
What you mean by transferable skills?
So as a CEO, as a clinical officer in Kenya, you cannot come here and say, I want to come and work as a clinical officer.
We don't have the CEO job role here.
However, the experience they have, the job they know, it's more of that. It's actually more than that of a senior care assistant. So if you come here as a senior care assistant, it means as much as you're working as a senior care assistant, we as EHUMAN, you're going to make sure that you further your studies.
Yes.
So you're allowed again under this sponsorship, you're allowed to do a diploma and below. Okay. So you'll be able to do courses like operating department practitioner, ODP, which means after the 3 years, if you have qualified and you got the diploma, Then after the 3 years, then if you're renewing for another 2 years, you can now renew on a new job role.
Oh,
Which is
okay.
it's not now
The
it's
CEO,
yeah,
clinical officer. You can transfer onto something
you can
else.
transfer now, yeah, and then it means even the amount of money you get paid as an ODP is way more than what you going to get paid as a senior care assistant.
Okay.
So that is one thing we pride ourselves in, because we understand that a lot of other companies are just focused on employment, what you're getting them as a company, because they invest a lot of money in you.
Yeah.
But we're not just stopping there. So we make sure that your quality of life is changed. You bring obviously you bring your relations, then you further your studies, and then if you become, by the time you're finishing your 5 years, if you're ODP, if you wanted to go and do further studies in that sector, we've already set you up.
Yes.
So that is one thing we actually tell people. As much as we see you as an employer-employee
You want them to
relationship,
succeed.
we want you to succeed, and we want you to kind of have that basis and be grateful that it's something we are very proud of, because we know we took you on this journey together, and then we didn't just leave you where we found you. We actually bettered your life.
Okay. So walk us through the journey from where they have met you, their requirement criteria for you, and they have fulfilled the requirements for their home office, and how do they transition? Like, what next after that?
Okay. So once they go through the human process, they'll get the 3-year contract.
Okay.
And obviously they'll fly to come to UK. So we do the airport pickup.
Okay.
Then you'll provide accommodation, 1 month accommodation for free, obviously, because we want them to kind of transition and settle in. When they're doing that, that's when, during this 1 month, that's when we're actually polishing up the training courses. So they would have done some few training courses through the interview, but once they come here, it's almost like refreshing or reminder of the care courses that they need to do. We also look into the welfare side of things, so we help them open the bank accounts, just basically help them settle in.
Okay, because I think that's important. It's not like, I know these people that came to this country, you were just dropped at the airport and told, meet so and so at the airport, and some people turned up, you did not meet that person, and you found yourself just by yourself in the UK, and it can be quite daunting just settling in the UK by yourself with no one guiding you. Even simple things like knowing where to shop for this and shop for that, it's quite daunting. So I think it's actually commendable that you're helping people to settle in and sort of get familiar with their environment. And I like that this visa allows you to bring your family, because we know how hard it is to get a visa, be able to bring your family here, and even just getting indefinite leave to remain in the UK, you have to prove a lot of things. And with this route, you're actually coming and getting it.
We normally advise people, if you're the one who's applied for this job role and you come here, give yourself at least 6 months. So if you have family, leave them behind for at least 6 months, because it's much easier to settle in when you're alone, as opposed to when you have wife who is actually in the same boat as you are, and kids. So we advise people to come here for at least 6 months, and it works in two ways. It will give you some time to focus on the job, and also when you go to because obviously you have to pay for their dependent when they're coming here for their visa and stuff. It will give you the 6 months bank statement, so that you can actually, when you apply for their visa, dependent visa, you have something to show that to the Home Office of the British Council, that you can actually sponsor them when they come here. So we advise people, instead of bringing the whole luggage you do,
it's difficult.
Settle in, because it's quite hard in UK if you're quite, especially if you're new in the country. So you're having to learn the culture at the same time, the job.
Not forgetting childcare and education and schooling and all that.
Exactly.
One last question. Your spouse, are they allowed to work when they come here?
Yes. So when you have the work contract, when you're on the work contract, like I said before, you're working for us. Because that is what the contract has tied you to do. Because when the Home Office was offering these opportunities, because there was a shortage in that industry, so they cannot then allow you to come here as a healthcare and then decide, you know what, I want to go and work as an engineer, because now you'll be taking a job that someone
that's
in
not
the
on the
UK,
shortage
the
of
local
education
industry
list.
could have taken it. So that's why they are quite precise when it comes to the work contract, or the 3-year contract. But for your dependents, they can do whatever they want.
Okay.
They can work in their field or whatever they want, because it means they're not apart from being their dependent. Their visa allows them to work in the UK industry, so they can come in and work in whichever industry they want. for you, and this is the point I want people to
tied
understand.
down to that.
For the next foreseeable future, for the next 3 years, or until you feel like you want to either cancel your visa, go back, or finish the 3 years and change the job role after the term has lapsed,
Yeah.
then you're tied for that in that job role.
Last thing, if anyone has listened to this and is interested in the process and would like to, make the applications and all that, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so we have our details on for you overseas contact and the UK contact. They will be on the screen.
Yeah.
We also have an EHUMAN app which is available both Android and iOS.
Okay.
And the website and email address will be on the screen as well.
Okay, brilliant. So there you've had it. If you were interested, just get in touch with Tirus in his office, and they will be able to signpost you and guide you through the process. And also, and this is something I urge people, you need to be ready to do the legwork, because they can only do so much. At the end of the day, there's going to be a part of the process where you need to do it. And I find this, and I'm going to say this is quite infuriating, because I am a healthcare worker myself, and a few times I've directed people to a certain website, like health and care professionals website, and told them just find the contacts there, email them, or inquire further, and they still come to me to ask me for contacts again. And you find that people are not proactive in doing their due diligence. So when you embark on this, just bear in mind you need to do the legwork as well for this to succeed. Otherwise, like I said, this is a perfect opportunity and a really good chance. Do not let it go to waste. Take advantage of this. Thank you, Tirus, for sharing this information with us. And God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you very much for the work you do.
Oh, thank you. Alrighty, so that's it for today from me. Peace out.